Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Blues Central. I'm Thomas Welch here with Mike Meyer, and we are getting ever so close to training camp and the start of a new Blues season. But we've got an incredible episode for you guys today and a phenomenal guest, a Stanley Cup champion, forward for the St. Louis Blues, number 70, Oskar Sundqvist. Oskar, thank you so much for taking some time to join the show. We really appreciate having you and hopping on. Just wanted to get your sense of where you're at in the off season. Have you been training? Have you been relaxing a little bit? What are your hobbies? All that kind of stuff. How you feeling?
First of all, thank you guys for having me. It's been a little bit of everything. Lot of training, trying to get ready for the season, and then obviously been back to Sweden for a bit, and been down to Florida where my wife's parents are. So a little bit of everything, but I feel like off season's been good. Maybe too hot there for a while here in St. Louis, but other than that, pretty good.
Yeah, it got hot. It definitely got hot here for a little bit, but now it's feeling good. I think that they know, training camp's right around the corner, so the weather's, really cooperating with us here right now. Walk me through, you're a little bit more here experienced now here like in the NHL. We've kind of turned the corner here with like the number of games. How's off season here kind of looking for you? Are you training any differently ahead of this off season or ahead of the training camp?
Obviously, quite big of a difference to finally being able to having a full summer. No rehab to need to focus on with knees or anything. So very excited to get an actual full summer and just trying to prepare as much as possible and get stronger. So I am really looking forward to coming into the season and being 100% prepared and healthy.
All right. So before we get too deep into the interview, I just kind of want to rip the Band-Aid off. So the 1.6 seconds, walk me through what was going through your mind, your point of view, your emotions. What were you seeing with your teammates, consoling them kind of, and your perspective on Game 7 and the way that all went down?
I mean, obviously we play a pretty perfect Game 7, especially in Winnipeg on the road, until those last 2 minutes in the third, especially that tying goal. It's almost a hope play, spin around and kind of get it across ice, and someone standing there, and then it goes across again, and it tips it in perfectly. So obviously, you kind of didn't believe that it just happened, and I think it was hard to really come back and try to get momentum back after that going into overtime. But yeah, it obviously it sucked. Looking back at it now, I think we should be proud with how our season turned around, and if you're looking at all the young guys at the team, how they progressed throughout their career and matured. And how they played. I think that part especially gives this a very exciting season coming up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I've got that in my notes here too. Like post Four Nations, you guys were one of, if not legitimately the best team in the NHL, as opposed to the rest of the season. Like we talked about it on Blue Central throughout the course, and you guys going on the win streak and me having to shave my head because I lost a bet. Like it was just crazy stuff left and right, but like I loved it. Right, we're riding the roller coaster all the way through. But we always talked about Four Nations as being kind of like that pivotal like swing point for you guys, to where it was like you really just turned on like the afterburners, and we saw the full magnitude of the St. Louis Blues team just take off. Did it feel like that shifting point for you guys at that time, or was there something significant to where that happened, or was it all just everything coming together and the stars aligning, me like, hey, we can do this?
I think everything just after that Four Nations, we really got I remember if it was 4 or 5 days coming out of it, and really practicing hard and having like almost a little mini training camp with Monty's system, and how I think every guy really understood what Monty wants. How does he want you to play? How how does one do in certain situations, and when we really got those, only if it only was 4 days, it felt like everything clicked coming right off that gate, and starting winning games, it just kind of when a snowball is just kept rolling, and we the confidence went skyrocketing. It felt like we couldn't lose, even though we maybe didn't play our best every game, but we still found ways to win hockey games, and that's what good teams do.
Oscar, you got a couple of the Stanley Cups here in the background. I love seeing those. As a winner here of two different Stanley Cups, what's kind of stood out to you here, like in your career from those two different runs? Obviously, you played quite a bit more of an impact here on the Blues championship run, but is there something that still sticks out here in your mind, especially from that original cup and then even in the secondary cup?
I think more, especially the first one. I think still pretty young at that point, and kind of just being around guys like that time Sidney Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Fleury, even though he wasn't really playing, but like just being around those guys and seeing how they prepare and how they handle different scenarios in a playoff. I think that experience really helped me, and getting to the right mindset in a playoff. If something doesn't go your way, it's out the window. It doesn't matter if you lose 2-1 or 7-1. It's no point. It's the next game that's coming up. So I think that experience really helped me going into our run here with St. Louis, and even if it was different in Pittsburgh, they expected you to win and go to the Stanley Cup Finals. Here, no one really had us winning, so it was a totally different way of winning, and I think that was almost a better way of winning it. It was like a fairy tale.
So do you see, like, in comparison to those two teams where you obviously got the ultimate outcome in lifting Lord Stanley, do you see similarities in the team going into this season for the St. Louis Blues? Or is it a completely, different kind of beast, like you were talking about, that maybe is almost better? It's almost like kids, right? Like they're all different, but you love them the same. Like, is there similarities that lead you to believe that this team right now is capable of winning the Stanley Cup, or is it so different that path will look so different that they could still have that success? It would just happen in a different way, if that makes sense.
I think definitely we can win a Stanley Cup with this team. I think we have every component that you need in different players, and with the additions of Bukestad and Suter, and I don't want to say his name wrong, but Melu. I think it could be very interesting season, and I think we have, like I said, I think we have everything that you need to have to really go far and go all the way. So, but obviously it's two different teams, but kind of similar. We have everything we need, and I'm very excited for the upcoming season.
And you talked about the impact of young players, and how they've kind of, especially with the St. Louis Blues lately, it feels like they just keep getting younger and younger. But one of those guys that fits that mold is Jimmy Snuggerud. What have you seen from him so far in his time with the St. Louis Blues, and what can we expect from him coming up this season?
Him coming in and doing what he did at that age, and then coming in to playoffs, going into Winnipeg, it's not the easiest, especially at that age and your first time you're going there. Very, very impressed with how he handled himself, and he's got everything. He's got the speed, the skill, the shot, but his hockey IQ of learning that quickly, the transaction from college to NHL and special playoffs was very impressive to see. Same with him now. He's got a full summer, and I saw him here a week ago. He put on some pounds too, so he can be very exciting to watch this season.
Are you seeing any bit of a change here in some of the players who are coming in here to the league? I mean, it seems like they're coming into the league just a lot sooner, earlier, but they're also a lot hungrier, a lot more capable Are you seeing some of that here as you know, or is it just fans who are kind of seeing this? Is it just something that's a misconceived notion? Like, what do you think here about some of these younger guys coming in?
I mean, most of the guys are here now, but you can see a lot of the, like you said, the young guys too. Most of them have all the skill and the speed and everything. It's more to understand the game, and I think a lot of our young guys really do have good hockey IQ and really understand the game well, and understand what to do in different situations. So I think all of our young guys that I mean fans are hoping for to see here in the near future are very talented. I think Blues fans should be excited about them too.
They got several Swedes
So
making their way up the way, so I'm sure you know a little bit of excitement here on your part.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're great kids. Super nice and listening to asking questions and wondering stuff. So they're like you said, they're here to learn and they want to learn.
So to shift away from hockey just for a second, I know you're a big City SC guy and soccer guy, so I need your raw, unbridled emotions about the season and even potentially, moving on from Lutz Pfannenstiel, sporting director. Like, what are your thoughts? Also, who's your favorite player? I feel like I haven't heard you answer that question, but obviously, I love watching the team and I think they're electric. But they were talking about playoffs this season and it hasn't happened, which is disappointing. But like we talk about with the youth on the St. Louis Blues team, you got Makai Joyner coming up the ranks in City SC too. So there's still something to be hopeful for.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, the whole season's been a disappointment, right? You
Yeah.
kind of been frustrating watching the games and watching the results, but you know, favorite player goes. I've since day one I've liked Leuven, how he can control games, and just love watching him making, like I said, controlling the midfield and dishing out passes. So, but like I said, hopefully the young kids take a big step like they did for us, and next season they'll be ready and obviously hopefully get a better start than they did this year.
Yeah, that's funny. Actually, I always played midfield in high school, so Leuven was my favorite too. So
Yeah,
phenomenal player. He's just a maestro in the midfield. It's
he
awesome to watch.
definitely is. He is.
Oscar, you've done a really good job here. I mean, you've really seemed like that you've taken St. Louis here, just not just that this is the city here that you're playing with, but you've just really embraced the culture. What to you like just makes St. Louis feel so much like at home here for you?
And I feel just just so friendly wherever you go. I feel like we I've been to almost all parts of the city. Feels like so. I just love the people around here. It's you go out and eat and you meet new people and you meet, uh, like I said, everyone's just so nice to you and ask if you need anything and they take care of you in a way that I've never seen any other city do. It goes from all the way from top from everyone around the St. Louis Blues and all the sports teams to all the fans. So I just love being in the city and being around here.
Are you recognized a lot? Like if you go out here, like with you, the family, I mean, I think it's kind of hard to not be recognized. It's Oskar Sundqvist. It's kind of hard. You see the flow, you see all of it. It's kind of hard not to
Yeah.
not to see it. But do fans? Do they just stop by, say hello? I mean, are they asking for autographs, pictures, anything like that? Or are they just kind of like just letting you be and just saying, okay, he's there. He just wants to kind of like eat his meal.
That's the other thing that makes it so special. At least what I think they see if you're having a date night with your girlfriend or wife or family, and they're respectful and maybe wait until you're done eating and then come up and ask for a picture or question or whatever it is. But uh, I do get recognized, uh, obviously depending on what area I go to also. But it's just nice to have people come up and you can just talk. It doesn't have to be picture or autograph or anything. It can be people just coming up and wanting to talk and stuff like that. So it's always friendly. I never met anyone that's been that you don't want to talk to, if I say like that. But I love talking to people and just hang out around the city.
We'll get back to Oskar Sundqvist in just a second, but Missouri, get ready. The wait is almost over. DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is coming soon to the Show Me State, and you can sign up today. New Missouri customers can get $300. That's $300 in bonus bets when we launch on December 1st. So download now and place a $5 bet when we go live. DraftKings Sportsbook brings everything you need to elevate your game day, including live in-game betting, lightning-fast payouts, and endless ways to get in on the action, all right from your phone. And when we officially go live in Missouri, you'll be betting with the Sportsbook app trusted by millions. Yes, millions. Safe, secure, and has fast money withdrawals. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code STL Sports to grab $300 in bonus bets with just a $5 bet when we go live December 1st. That's code STL Sports in partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
And now back to Oskar Sundqvist. So obviously someone else who has made a large impact and kind of stolen the hearts of people in St. Louis, similar to you, is Alexander Steen, who's in a position to kind of be the heir to the throne for Doug Armstrong now. And obviously it's like a lot of the players, including yourself, like have an established relationship with him. So we know that it's like, you know, him waiting in the wings, it makes sense and it's going to be perfect and a smooth transition. But I was wondering, like, has your relationship with him, like, how has it changed, if at all, now that, you know, going from you guys being essentially like teammates and line mates to, okay, now he's the GM of the team that I'm playing for? You know what I mean? Like, how has that dynamic shifted, if anything, or is it just like, you know, that's Steiner, he's same old guy as he's always been?
It is. He is still same old guy he's always been. Obviously, you have to maybe watch some of the jokes you do around him, but other than that, it's the same old Steiner. You know, he's, like I said, I think he's gonna do a great job taking over, and like it's looking like now, it's like you said, the transition is gonna be so smooth. He's been around now for a couple of years and hanging out with Army, so he's learning from one of the best, and it's gonna be exciting. But he's still the same old.
Well, with the rest of the coaching staff, you know, you've had a little bit of the relationship here with Otter. Again, like Monty comes in. Thoughts here, like on the coaching staff? I mean, it's from an outsider's perspective. I mean, it seems like it is just a stacked coaching staff that just seems like anything that you need, you know, you can be able to go to somebody, be able to talk to them. You can be able to go to this person, and then you can go to this. Like, what do you think here, like the coaching staff here at this point?
I think we have one of the better coaching staffs in the league, and it's not just how technically skilled they are or how good they are running drills and stuff like that. It's more the people, what kind of personality they have. Like you said, you have so many, all of them are great guys, and you know, you can go different questions, you can go to different guys, you know, they're all basically specialized and seen it and been through all this stuff like you're going through yourself. So you always have someone to turn to if you need some help or have a question. And you know, like I said, I think this coaching staff is the absolute top in the league.
So you don't have to go into like specifics, but I'm always curious. Like for me, obviously it's a completely different setting because I'm just working like a boring 9 to 5 in a cubicle, but like setting personal goals always helps me kind of like, you know, have a path and like achieve what I'm going to. So you don't have to get into specifics of like, you know, what the number is or what the stat is, but I was wondering if you have like, you know, benchmarks that you're trying to hit, whether it's block shots or hits or, you know, goals or assists throughout the course of the season, where you're like, you know, almost trying to climb the ladder to push yourself to that next level to achieve those.
You always have goals. It's more of, you always want to do better than you did last season, and when that doesn't happen, I mean, it can beat you down. And the dangerous part of it is if you're setting a goal with having this many goals and assists, and you're having a little rough start, then it can beat you down very quickly. So I'm more just trying to do better than I did last season, and you know, hit some block shots. That's more just don't get away from a shot. If your turn to block a shot, you block shot, and if you're gonna make a hit, then you make a hit. So it's more just it goes so fast out there. You just go out there and just don't really think. You just run around and trying to do your thing.
Who's that guy that's holding you guys accountable? I mean, is it everybody's holding each other accountable? Is there one person more than the other? I mean, I think it's obvious, you know, it's probably, you know, Schenner that's keeping everybody accountable, but is there one guy here more than anybody who's like that extra vocal guy who's helping keep guys accountable in the locker room?
I think we have a good leadership group. You know, they're taking their responsibility, and they're all pretty vocal. It kind of depends on the situation, but it's not just one guy. We have 6-7 guys that can raise their voices in the locker room if something's not going right, or if, you know, you sense it yourself too during games. If shit, boys, like we can do better in this. What are we doing? Let's wake up, like stuff like that. We have so many guys that are veterans and been in the league for a long time that really steps up when it needs to.
So kind of going off of that and the leadership capabilities, obviously, of this whole group, but what really, obviously, Schenner's got the C on his chest. So what kind of stands out to you? Because it does feel like there's a trickle-down effect to, like, you know, there is that leadership group and everybody kind of leads by example, but there's also, you know, like you said, nobody's afraid of being vocal and nobody's going to like jump down your throat for doing it. But what kind of sticks out to you in that category for Schenner, to where people kind of look to him as like a beacon, as like a you go and we go kind of thing? I mean, I'm sure fighting every chance that he gets helps, you know, and then burying guys into the boards. But is there something that we don't see as fans, like on the back end, that you're like, oh, that's really cool that he, like, you know, really brings everybody together?
I think what makes him so respected, especially around our locker room, is how he takes care of everyone. You know, he's I think Snuggerud still lives in his house, but like how he just takes care of everyone around the rink and outside if you need anything. He's been so good at that, and you know, it makes him. It's not just his hockey and his career that makes him so respected in the locker room and around the team. It's what he does all around behind closed doors, and when fans and people don't really see what he does. That's what he does so well.
Is there walk me through a little bit of like that trade deadline. I know that there was like rumors swirling around that he may be a person who's going to end up going. So, you know, the trade deadline passes, you know, pencils down everybody, and Schenner's still there. So was there a bit of a sigh of relief? What was kind of going, I think, through the locker room when they saw that the captain's still going to be with the club here moving forward?
I mean, obviously a big relief to have him staying and not going anywhere. And I think he also, I think you could see a change on his game. I think he played more pissed off after that deadline, and you know, he really dragged the team from that point to really push for that playoff spot. So, you know, obviously, I think every guy in that locker room was relieved when the deadline was over, and he was still a Blue and he was still our captain. So we're very happy, and we're fortunate to still have him.
You talked about kind of Four Nations and Montgomery, kind of his first chance to really get his full fingerprints on the squad, and you guys really kind of deciphering at that point, like really what he wanted and just clicking right away, right from the jump, as soon as Four Nations was over. So what are you most excited going into training camp, knowing that it's not like, you know, him getting those fingerprints halfway through the season. Now you're getting a full season of Monty, a full season of this squad kind of building together towards the ultimate goal. If I remember correctly, like, the heartbreak of the 1.6 seconds obviously sits with you guys, but it sits with the fan base as well. But it can also motivate this team into greatness, like we've seen with Tampa Bay winning. I think they won the Stanley Cup like right after they had a brutal exit of the playoffs. So what are you most looking forward in training camp? Is it to see Monty, to see the guys, or just kind of a retribution to start your path towards, doing better than you did last season?
I think it's a little bit of everything. I mean, obviously seeing the guys, you miss them throughout the summer. You haven't seen them. Monty, you'll miss him until the first couple of days of training camp when he's back skating you around. But I think getting training camp done and getting the season started, I think everyone's super excited about it. And like you said, we know what they expect, the coaching staff is, and then Steiner and Army, what they expect from us, and how they want us to play. And I feel like we now definitely know how we have to play to be successful and to be an effective team and win hockey games. I think that was the one that was lacking a little bit here and there last year. But like you said, like now going into training camp, getting a full training camp with Monty and the coaching staff, and really starting off on the right foot and knowing exactly how we need to play to win hockey games is very exciting.
So when things are getting, I guess, a little tense, a little tough, guys are gripping the sticks here a little bit tighter. Who's that guy who's going to be on the ice or in the locker room who's going to crack the joke, turn on some? What are you turning on, music, or just be able to get the guys just kind of like loosen up?
I think we have a couple of guys. I mean, Jake is pretty good at that. Monty's very good at that too during his speeches in intermission.
He's a big classic rock guy, right? Monty
he is,
and
he
Jim.
is. Yeah, both of them. Yeah, so like we have a couple of guys that can lighten the mood. But Monty usually, if he senses that we're not on top of our game or something's missing, we're maybe a little bit half asleep. He's a guy that can make everyone laugh in the locker room and get like the mood up and the guys going again. So it's usually not that too big of a problem, especially after Monty came in and how he just is as a person.
We're gonna get you out of here real soon. We got like 4 minutes left, but I wanted to ask if you had a story in your mind, or like a time when you guys, like the team was all hanging out, but it was like outside of the rink, right? And it was like, like some of the best times. Maybe it was Stanley Cup, maybe it wasn't, maybe it was, this past season, or just a time where you were like sitting back with the boys and you're just like, God, like not much gets better than this. Like just hanging out with your teammates, bonding, throwing back a couple of beers, like, anything that sticks out in your mind, a moment like that.
I think also, well, that one wasn't really. It was a really good moment, and it made a good laugh. The story with when we turned it around and started winning hockey games and eventually won the Stanley Cup in Nashville. We had the whole team was going to go out and have a couple of beers before dinner, and Nashville took us outside a little bit. They were like, it's 2 bars. There's one bar called Winners and one bar called Losers right next to each other. And I think it was Steiner at that time. He was like, we're definitely not going to the Winners one. We're going to the Losers bar. So the whole team was in the Losers bar having a couple of beers before dinner, and it's just, it made everyone just laugh, and I think it brought us much closer together. But that was funny that we picked the Losers bars because we couldn't win a hockey game at that point.
Yeah.
No, love that. I want to really give you a quick chance. I mean, if there's anything, I know that you're a big community guy. I mean, you obviously came rallied around the tornado relief efforts here just a couple of months ago. If there's anything that you want to be able to plug, if there's any sort of, a community effort here that you love to be able to partner with, I mean, if there's a moment you want to be able to plug anything, now's the chance.
My wife and well, most of my life, I'm helping out as much as I can with. It's for our young friends at Humane Society. We have two rescue dogs. We do a lot of stuff with them, and she's the vice president of that Young Friends group that doing everything voluntarily to help animals around the St. Louis area. Like I said, I'm more just there helping out every chance I get and kind of supporting that foundation. So that is a really, really good project they got going on, and it's always fun, especially there you meet new people and you go to their happy hours and kind of supporting them in any way you can. So that is one outside. Give my wife Blake a shout out for all her work she does there.
That's awesome. Great husband right there. Well, there you have it. That has been Oskar Sundqvist. I'm Thomas Welch. That is Mike Meyer here for Blue Central. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and thank you, Oskar, for joining us. Obviously, we appreciate your time.
Thank you guys for having me. Thank you guys. Make
sure you guys follow, subscribe, like us everywhere you can on all socials. STL Sports Central on YouTube, Blue Central on Facebook and TikTok as well. We'll be seeing you guys next time. Peace.